Evelyn Grace Hartley has been missing since October 24, 1953, and was last seen in La Crosse County, Wisconsin, and she is considered endangered missing. Her date of birth is November 21st, 1937, which, if she is still alive today, would make her 80 years old. She was 15 at the time of her disappearance, was 5'7", and in between 126 and 128 pounds. She was a white female with blue eyes, light brown straight hair, light complexion. She wore glasses, but did not have them when she would disappeared. She was last seen wearing size 16 red denim white stag jeans, a size 34-36 plain white ship and shore blouse with pearl buttons, an Indian beaded belt with metal buckle, size 24, white bobby socks. There are dental records available for the case. Hartley, a 15-year-old Central High School student, disappeared October 24, 1953, from the home of a La Crosse State College professor where she was babysitting. She was supposed to call her parents during the evening, but did not. Her father tried to call several times that day and never got an answer. He became worried and went to the house to check on his daughter. Hartley's father found all the windows in the house locked, except for a basement window in the back. Bloodstains were found around the window and in the grass yard, and there was a bloody handprint on the side of the house next door. The furniture inside the living room was disarranged. Hartley's eyeglasses, which were broken, and one of her shoes were on the living room floor. Her other shoe was found in the basement. There was no unharmed, sleeping in her crib. Tracker dogs traced Hartley's scent as far as the street, leading authorities to believe she had taken away in a car. They believe she disappeared at approximately 1915 and was never found, though there was an intensive search. Foul play is suspected. If you have any information concerning this case, please contact Tony Dellup at the La Crosse Police Department, 608-785-5962. That's 608-785-5962. Frances Blanche Groves is considered endangered missing and was last seen January 1st, 1955, in Palm Springs, Riverside County, California. Her date of birth is April 4th, 1915, which makes it very unlikely for her to still be alive today. At the time of her disappearance, she was 42 years old. She was a white female, 5'2", in between 125 and 150 pounds. She had brown hair, brown eyes, sometimes went by the nickname Fanny or Franny, and it was unknown if she had any distinguishing marks or features. Though there were no dental nor fingerprint records available, there are DNA samples available for the case. It is unknown what clothing, if she had any jewelry, or if she had any additional personal items with her at the time of her disappearance. Frances was last known to be working with her boyfriend. He took her out for a picnic, and he returned alone. If you have any information about this case, you are asked to contact Detective Stephanie Campbell at the Palm Springs Police Department. Evelyn Thorsby is considered endangered missing and has been missing since May 16, 1955. She was last seen in Los Angeles County, California. Her date of birth is May 11th, 1892, makes it very, very unlikely for her to still be alive today. However, at the time of her disappearance, she was 63 years old. She was a white female, 5'6", 130 to 140 pounds, white hair, blue eyes, and she wore glasses. There are no dental records available for the case, as it's not available because she wore dentures. There are no fingerprint nor DNA samples available either. At the time of her disappearance, she is believed to have been wearing a tan suit and a small hat, a gold wedding ring, and it is unknown if she had anything else with her at the time. Evelyn Scott, otherwise known as Evelyn Mumper, was last seen on the afternoon of May 16, 1955, when she and her drove a new car. Ewing told salesmen that they were considering or Portugal. Never filled a missing report for his wife and rebuffed questions, saying that she had run off or he had put her in a sanitarium to cure her alleged alcoholism. The matter only became public in March of 1956, almost a year after she disappeared, when her brother, E. Raymond Thorsby, filed a petition asking to be appointed guardian of her estate. Searching the house and its landscaped grounds, the police found metal snaps from women's underclothing The incinerator, carelessly buried under heaps of leaves on an adjoining lot, were false teeth and eyeglasses, later identified as Evelyn Scott's. Evelyn's friends suspected that Ewing Scott, her fifth husband, had killed her for her money. Her husband offered various explanations for her absence, but apparently convinced few. During the 6 years between her wedding to Ewing and her disappearance, Evelyn cashed some $223,000 worth of securities, in addition to drawing about $180,000 in income from her estate. When she disappeared, there was a lot of money lying around in a dozen odd bank accounts and safe deposit boxes. According to subsequent testimony, Ewing Scott used forged signatures, helped himself liberally to the money. After 2 years as a fugitive, Ewing was arrested in April 1957, and despite the absence of a body, was tried, convicted of murder, and sentenced to life imprisonment, all the while insisting not only on his innocence, but that his wife was not dead. He was released from prison in 1978 and died in 1987. If you have any information on this case, you are asked to contact the Los Angeles Police Department, Detective Rivera, at 213-486-6826. That's 213-486-6826. Marjorie McKinley Chillingworth has been missing since June 4th, 1955, from West Palm Beach, County, Florida, and she is classified as endangered missing. Her date of birth is believed to be 1899, which makes it very unlikely for her. Though she was 56 years old at the time of her disappearance, she was a white female, and she was last seen wearing a nightgown, a pair of slippers, and went missing from her home. Marjorie was last seen with her husband, Judge Curtis Chillingworth, at a dinner in West Palm Beach, Florida on June 14th, 1955. They left the dinner about 2200 for their Manalapan home. They had hired a carpenter to come that morning of June 15th to build a playground for their grandchildren. The carpenter arrived at 8 o'clock, the door was open, and the home was empty. Chillingworth didn't show up for a 10 o'clock hearing at a courthouse at West Palm Beach. Police found a shattered porch light, drops of blood on the walkway to the beach, and 2 U-spools of adhesive tape, one in the sand and one in the living room. Also found was dry swimsuits, discounting the idea of accidental drowning during a morning swim. Money still in the judge's billfold, and $40 still in Marjorie's pocket, ruled out robbery. The keys were still in the ignition of the Chillingworth's Plymouth. An extensive search turned up no clues, and in 1957, Curtis and Marjorie Chillingworth were declared dead. Judge Joseph Peel was the city's only municipal judge. Peel was protecting Bolita operators and moonshiners. In 1953, he represented both sides in a divorce. His superior, Chillingworth, gave him only a reprimand, with the warning that this was his last chance. In June 1955, with Judge Chillingworth possibly about to end Peel's career over the non-divorce fiasco, Peel had been in a panic. Luckily, Halls of Help, a carpenter's apprentice, a service station attendant, and a bartender bought a skiff and a second anchor. On the night of June 14th, he and accomplice Bobby Lincoln went to Manalapan and landed on the beach behind the house around 1 o'clock. Bobby Lincoln crouched in the bushes as Lucky knocked on the door. The judge answered in his pajamas. Lucky pulled a pistol from under his shirt and forced the judge and his wife into the boat. After the boat drifted for about an hour, the couple were thrown overboard with lead weights strapped to their legs. On December 12th, Lucky pleaded guilty to both murders and was sent to death row. On March 30th, 1961, Peel was found guilty of accessory to murder. He received 2 life sentences. The accomplice to the murder, Bobby Lincoln, finished his federal prison term in Michigan in 1962. If you have any information about this case, you are asked to contact the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office at 561-688-3000. That's 561-688-3000. Flora Rebecca Ligon has been missing since either the spring or the fall of 1956 from Washington, District of Columbia. Her date of birth is May 27, 1914, which make it very unlikely for her to still be alive today. She was 42 years old at the time of her disappearance, either 5'6" or 5'7", 130 pounds. She was a black female with brown hair, brown eyes, and had a history of alcohol abuse. She sometimes went by the name Flora Green or Flora White Dan. Flora was last seen in Washington, D.C. in the spring or the fall of 1956. On the day of her disappearance, her then 8-year-old daughter saw her remove some money she hid under the linoleum. Flora told her daughter she was going to the store. She never returned and was not seen by her family ever again. Many years later, this daughter learned that her mother may have had an alcohol abuse problem. Flora may have gone to Trenton, New Jersey, Clemson, South Carolina, or Greenville, or any of the South Carolina areas. If you have any information regarding this case, you are asked to contact the D.C. Metropolitan Police Detective Jim Trainum at 202-727-5037. That's 202-727-5037.